recent videos, we have dealt with material facts. We want to relax a little bit on this video, and we're going to talk about some things that are not material in North Carolina. If you're coming from another state, it may be different there. But let's talk about the fact that in North Carolina, these are not material issues. We'll tell you a little bit about how to deal with them, but we want to move through this fairly quickly. What I'm talking about are stigmatized properties. When you talk about a stigmatized property, we're talking about a property where some event has happened. There has been a death, or there has been a crime, or something to that extent. In North Carolina, you are not obligated by law to disclose that. Since the seller is not obligated, then the agent would not be obligated to disclose it either. Having said that, it's not illegal for you to disclose it. So if you take a listing such as this, you may want to discuss it with the seller. If you know there's been a recent death there, or if there's been a high profile death, you may want to go ahead and address it with the seller and say, let's go ahead and disclose this because people are going to find out anyway. That is an option, but it's not a requirement. If your seller says don't disclose it, well, you would be at their mercy because they're asking you to do a lawful thing. If you choose to answer the question about whether there has been a death or a crime there, what you say should in fact be factual. Okay, so in other words, if you know that someone died there and the seller will not give you permission to say it, and someone asks you a direct question, says, has someone died in that house? You can't say no if the answer is yes. You can say, I'm not at liberty to say, but you cannot tell a lie. There is one question that is absolutely impermissible, even if you had permission to say it. You cannot answer questions regarding HIV status or AIDS of someone who has lived or died in a house. This is protected under fair housing laws, and it's what we refer to as a legally impermissible question. Buyers and sellers don't know whether to ask or not ask, but as agents, we know, do not answer a question affirmatively or negatively if the question is about AIDS or HIV. Another type of stigmatized property that you may run into, if in fact there is a sex offender who lives in or near the property. In North Carolina, this is not a mandatory disclosure situation, so there will be no material fact that you're obligated to disclose. One of the things I tell my agents is if I were you, I would adopt a consistent strategy for disclosure or non-disclosure. For example, when it comes to sex offenders on or near the property, I would either always disclose, never disclose, or disclose only when asked. One of the problems that you find out is that when agents start treating certain properties differently, they run into concerns about that. So anyway, everything that we've talked about on this slide, exactly as this slide is written, is actually fine. Okay, nothing material here.